Their lineup leading off in center field, Francis Medina. Batting second, playing second, Elias Valerio, maybe a surprise starter there over Juan Nunez. Pablo Figueroa is in right field. Serge Lajos is the DP. Melvin Cruz playing first base. Josuel Chalas is the left fielder. Freddie Moreta is behind the plate. Wilton Villafana plays third base with Juan Ramirez at short. Santiago Diaz is the pitcher tonight for the Dominican Republic. Defensively for Team Canada in left field, it's Shane Boland. Brad Ezekiel starts in center. Brian Avery gets the start in right field tonight. Derek Mason's at third. Kevin Schellenberg is at short. Brandon Horn plays second, as he has every night. Steve Mullally's at first base. Chopper talked about Ryan Boland getting the start again behind the plate tonight. A clutch grand slam to help key the victory over Australia last night. And Devin McCullough will get his second start of the tournament as Team Canada have their white uniforms and black pants, and Team Dominican have their white uniforms and white pants. Somebody didn't get the memo here tonight.
No, wait till boys wear the alternate strip in Dominican Republic. Maybe they got it stuck in laundry, who knows. But, hey, the Dominican Republic team, they come in with hot batting sticks right from 1 to 9 here tonight. No one other than Sergio Lajos in the DP role hitting in the 4 spot. So look for the Dominican Republic to get going here. But on the hill, Devin McCullough, he's been lights out, only 1.5 ERA so far in this tournament.
We're here on diamond number 1. It's the last game of the day, the 6th game of the 7-game round robin for each of these teams, and the crowds have gotten bigger every night, Jason.
It is packed. There's standing room only here at the Pepsi Center here in Whitehorse, Yukon, and it's fabulous to see, and it's great also that well-educated fans, I noticed. Francis
Medina was looking for the running bunt, and he got a rise ball up and in from Devin McCullough. The count is 2-0. Make that 3-0. The call from tonight's home plate umpire, Tony Kayaruna. Who's out there with him?
Yeah, the blue team. First base is Casey White from USA. Lee Evans from Australia at second base. Jason Carter also from Australia. He's at third base. And running the 22nd clock, Brian Sunak from the USA.
So a 4-pitch walk to start the game for Francis Medina. Not what Devin McCullough was looking for.
Now, if you haven't seen Devin McCullough pitch before, he is a firecracker. He comes with a lot of pace, and of course, with pace, sometimes some of the control will go a little bit astray.
Stepping in now, Elias Valerio at second base for the Dominican Republic tonight. McCullough, if you'll remember, pitched the win for Team Canada against Team New Zealand in the 2015 championship game in relief of Sean Cleary in his hometown, no less.
Yeah, thanks, Chris, for bringing that up. I'm only just getting over that loss. And when he come into that ball game, New Zealand were on a roll. That knocked Cleary off the mound. But Devin McCullough cometh the hour, cometh the man, and he now is an ace.
Rise ball. Valerio leaves it up top. Word from Diamond 2 that Australia, with a 9-1 victory over Argentina, that should solidify a double life for Australia, and it looks like Chopper will set up a first-round playoff matchup with the New Zealand Black Sox.
Yeah, that it's a trans-Tasman affair there, Australia versus New Zealand, and that crossover play. Of course, both teams need to take care of business in the last round robin match, but that's the way it looks like it's shaping up.
Valerio goes down looking as Pablo Figueroa steps in. Third straight left-handed batter for the Dominican.
Figueroa, left-handed hitter. He's hitting .471. He's got a bit of pop in his bat with 2 home runs and 9 RBIs.
That one goes to the screen, rattles around. Medina will move to second on the wild pitch. And Ryan Boland just wants to have a chat with his pitcher, maybe settle things down a little.
And that's what a good catcher does, right? And you're going to get a little bit of that from McCullough here. When you throw so hard, you call your body up. You know, something's going to give now and then, and that's just part and parcel of having a pitcher who throws definite heat.
So Medina to second with 1 out. Sharp ground ball under the glove of Mason, right into the hands of Kevin Schellenberg, and he'll go across the diamond to Stephen Mullally, 2 down.
Got to say, Chris, the field here tonight is in immaculate condition. The ground crew here at Whitehorse know what they're doing, and that ground ball snavelled up, hard hit by Schellenberg, and throws him out easily at first base for the second out of the innings.
And it brings up maybe the most dangerous offensive threat in the Dominican order in Sergio Lajos, a veteran of the international game.
Yeah, as we said earlier on, Lajos is hitting .538.
Takes a drop ball on the outer half from Devin McCullough. That's strike one.
He's also picked up 7 RBIs, so that means in a situation like this, he comes in good.
Well, it would be massive for the Dominican Republic to get out to a lead. He'll chop a changeup out to second base. Brandon Horn takes it on the roll and on to first base. So Team Canada are able to get out of the first inning. The leadoff walk to Medina is stranded, and Team Canada will have Brandon Horn, Kevin Schellenberg, and Brad Ezekiel due up in the bottom. Bottom of the first inning upcoming here in Whitehorse. The offensive lineup for Team Canada: Brandon Horn leads off playing second base. Kevin Schellenberg bats second. Brad Ezekiel batting third, followed by the cleanup hitter Steve Mullally. Derek Mason, who's been having an excellent tournament, bats fifth. He's followed by Ryan Boland in the sixth spot. Ryan's little brother Shane bats right behind him in the seventh spot. Andy Skelton, the DP tonight, in the eighth spot, and Brian Avery in right field is at the bottom of the order. Defensively for Team Dominican Republic, Josuel Chalas is in left, Francis Medina in center, Pablo Figueroa in right, Wilton Villafana at third, Juan Ramirez and Elias Valerio are up the middle, Melvin Cruz at first, and Freddie Moretta is flashing the signs for Santiago Diaz. Maybe a bit of a surprise starter for the Dominican tonight, although they've used 6 guys and have really spread the innings around.
Yeah, you're right. The Dominican Republic have a lot of pitchers on their staff here, and because of that, Diaz has only been on the mound for 3 innings so far in this tournament. It was against South Africa. He scattered 5 hits, giving up 2 runs, but only one of them earned. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes against one of the best teams here this week.
Certainly one of the best offensive teams in Team Canada, who have had no trouble putting runs up against anybody, top teams included. It's been a very offensive tournament, not a kind one to the pitchers on most afternoons. Brandon Horn will lead off for Team Canada. I would say they're wearing white, but the Dominican are also wearing white here in the nightcap on Diamond 1. The distinguishing feature is Team Canada's black pants. Also the word Canada on their jersey. That drop ball is too low. Brandon Horn has worked himself ahead 2-0.
Yeah, if any team you think would have worn black pants, they would be the Dominican Republic. With the sun out, it'd be nice and warm for them, remind them of back home, but they'll go with the white.
Low again, 3-0 to Brandon Horn. Yeah, the Dominican guys were going around with baklavas and scarves and whatever they could to keep warm over the last couple of days. A little more forgiving for them. The sun has finally come out in Whitehorse. A 3-0 strike at the bottom of the zone to Brandon Horn from Santiago Diaz. Horn is from Ontario. And takes strike 2. Diaz is again nibbling at the bottom of that zone.
Brandon Horn sporting a 333 batting average, but a 529 on base percentage, so that's why he's at the top of the order here.
That's a sharp single through the right side, and Brandon Horn gets Team Canada moving early.
Yeah, Brandon Horn doing exactly what the coach would love to see right here, getting the leadoff runner on, gives him so much more options, and it allows him to either use a short game here or maybe get the running game started early.
Schellenberg returns to the Canadian lineup. He left a couple of nights ago with a lower body injury, and he's back in for the first time tonight. Takes the first pitch high and out of the zone from Diaz.
Casey Waits, the first base umpire over there, checking the lead on Horn. Looks pretty good.
Schellenberg's taken low for ball 2. So 2 batters in a row now. Santiago Diaz has fallen behind the hitter. And this powerful Canadian lineup, that is not a good recipe for success. Fouled straight back. A few of the fans here seeing that Schellenberg just missed sending that back up the middle of the park.
Interesting to note there, 2-0 count, obviously free swinging, and Canada not electing to go with the bread and butter bunt play in this situation. It just shows that you don't have to fit inside a box to play at this level.
No, you don't. Interesting, though, as Schellenberg comes in 0 for 5. A nasty changeup from Diaz, but it gets away from Moretta, and that will do the job to move Horn down to second base on the pass ball.
That changeup was like an ephus pitch. That thing came in at about 1.2 kilometers an hour. That thing was so slow, bouncing away, allowing Schellenberg to get the job done, getting the runner over.
And still with a bat in his hands at 2-2. Another one to the screen, and Brandon Horn will move down to third base.
Yeah, now Schellenberg, he's done his job. He's got all the way to 3 here. He sits in a perfect situation for a sacrifice fly to get the ball rolling for Canada at the first run on the board.
And the dangerous thing is you've got Brad Ezekiel, Steve Mullally, 2 of the most feared hitters on the planet, coming up behind Schellenberg, so he's got lots of protection. Although control is an issue right now for Diaz. Maybe fell off the mound a bit on that one as they go out and scuff some dirt around.
If you haven't seen our friends from South America play before, those nations down there tend to have a lot slower game. They're paused between bats or between pitches, and the game tends to draw out a little bit.
3-2 pitch, Schellenberg, sharp ground ball, taken by Ramirez across the diamond, and Horn has to stay at third, 1 away.
Yeah, nice play there from Ramirez at shortstop, holding the speedy Horn at third base, but Horn electing to stay, and that's the right play here. There's only 1 out, and we've got a couple of really nice bats coming up to bring him in.
Brad Ezekiel is back in center field tonight. Ezekiel was also dealing with an injury. He played opening night in right field, but he's been in center field ever since. That's to the screen. Horn goes halfway down the line and pulls out the parachute as Freddie Moretta got a friendly bounce off the screen.
Yeah, nice bit of hustle there from Moretta. Also good to see Diaz coming in and Cruz from first base, backing up Diaz in case there is an overthrow in that situation.
One and 0 and a hard drop ball on the inner half. That's a good pitch for Diaz to get himself back set. 1-1 count now to the Canadian Ezekiel.
If you've never seen Ezekiel bat before, he's got a unique batting stance, a wave of the bat right way above his head. A little reminiscent of Jody Henniger with the windmill back in the day.
Another drop ball, this time a little further out. Brad takes it for strike 2. Ezekiel would tell you himself, if he was teaching a young kid how to hit, he wouldn't suggest his own stance, but it's certainly been successful for him over the years.
And the same with Jody Henniger. He broke New Zealand's hearts in Manila to walk off home run against New Zealand and knock them out of the World Cup. So if it works for you, you might as well use it, right?
Absolutely. That pitch well outside. Moretta does a good job to catch it, and it's been a busy inning for Freddie Moretta in the plate today.
Nice shot there of John Stewart, the third base coach for Canada. It's a big part for him right now, choosing what to do in this situation, tactically wise.
Ezekiel just missed as it was sent straight back toward Diamond 2, where play has finished up for the day. As I mentioned earlier, Australia really laying the boots to Team Argentina. Now we've got time called as the center fielder for the Dominican has come in to talk to Juan Ramirez. That's Francis Medina. Maybe he has seen something with Ezekiel he wanted to relay.
Yeah, I think that's good when you've got a member in your team who doesn't like something he sees. He's got the ability to call time and communicate with his teammates.
Change up, Ezekiel back up the middle. It's an RBI single, and Team Canada are on the board.
Ezekiel keeping his hands back on the change-up there and managing to get enough bat on it to drive it up the middle and open the scoring for Canada, 1-0.
Ezekiel was on deck when Diaz threw the changeup to Schellenberg that got him out front, and he kept that in the back of his mind and adjusted, and is now at first base for fellow Newfoundlander Steve Mullally.
Mullally, the legend from the last cycle against New Zealand, just taking us to the seats with the way he swung the bat that day. And oh my God, 3 home runs, if I remember correctly. He was insane. I bet you he hasn't bought a beer since.
He is now a legend in Canadian fast pitch, not that he wasn't before. Another one to the screen, a wild pitch for Diaz, and they're already up and moving in the Dominican dugout.
Yeah, it'll prompt the coach to come out. That's about the 4th pitch to the screen so far for Diaz. And he doesn't throw with a lot of velocity, but he's also not quite getting control. When you don't have either of those, not a good combination.
No, it's certainly not. And you give guys free bases. Brandon Horn was given 2 free bases and scored on a single. It really should be 1st and 3rd right now. Instead, it's 1-0 Canada. Ezekiel is at second base and Mullally at the plate. And, of course, the runner at second base becomes ever important in terms of trying to relay information back to the at-bat.
Yeah, I don't think anyone does that, to be fair. They're all gentlemen in this game. And, it's for the batter to pick the rotation out of the pitcher's hand.
Who are you kidding? Ezekiel at second, 2-0 count to Steve Mullally in the bottom of the 1st inning. And it hits him. And Mullally takes a step toward the mound before walking to first with Mark Porteous. Always curious after a meeting on the mound results in a hit batter.
Only if it's the very first pitch like it was right then. That's a message from the dugout to Canada right there for sure. And Mullally, rightly so, should not be happy with that treatment.
So that brings up Derek Mason. So, yeah, you hit Mullally, but Mason may be the hottest hitter for Team Canada here this week. And he had a couple of clutch hits, including one off Adam Folkard to give Canada the lead they wouldn't relinquish last night.
Frankie Perez is the head coach for Dominican Republic, and he's been around the game for a while, so he knows when to and when not to put a runner on. And I guess in this situation, he felt it was prudent.
That drop ball catches the outside of the plate. 1-1 count to Derek Mason.
Crowd starting to murmur now, feeling a bit of that energy.
Mason fouls it back right over our broadcast location. A little upset with himself. Feels like he should have driven that one to the outfield.
Yeah, Derek Mason prides himself with a nice smooth stroke. He's not swinging from his heels at any stage or at any count. He's a purist of a hitter, and he tends to, if he can see the ball, he can hit the ball as long as it's in the strike zone.
Mason comes to us from North Vancouver, British Columbia. Just gets a piece of that to keep the at-bat alive.
Yeah, when you're obviously got 2 strikes on you, you've got to fight those ones off, and Mason just taking a little bit of that one.
1 and 2 runners are on first and second. Ezekiel at second, Mullally at first. Canada looking to break this game open early. Mason check swing. They'll check down at third. And no way, says Jason Carter from Australia.
Yeah, good call. I don't think he went either. And a home plate umpire, Tony Kairuna, he had no problem hesitation in checking the swing there in that circumstance.
Interesting, as in last night's game, there was some, say, commotion from the Canadian bench that a check swing was not checked with the base umpire. 2-2. Mason takes low. That's another thing Team Canada has been doing all week, is being very selective and patient at the plate, not chasing bad pitches.
Yeah. On the Kairuna, the plate umpire from New Zealand, I've managed to call a lot of his games over the years, and I know he likes to have a working relationship with the catcher. So at any time they ask, as long as it's respectful, he'll always give you that opportunity.
Changeup is outside, and it brings up Ryan Boland with the bases loaded.
So the hit pitch 2 batters ago is not paying off for them now with only 1 out and loaded bases. Ryan Boland last night, he knows what the situation looks like.
Canada was down 4-0 to Australia, and Boland deposited a pitch over the left center field fence. That's his power, is the opposite field, because he is not afraid to take the pitch where it is given. Let's see what he does here with 1 down. Up for ball 1. And Santiago Diaz is in all kinds of trouble here in the bottom of the first inning.
Ryan Boland was at the 2013 World Cup in Auckland, New Zealand. I saw him hit this home run. And halfway up the trees, past the home run fence, on the way up.
He is a very good hitter, always has been. Takes ball 2. It was a changeup inside.
Yeah, Diaz trying to take some velocity off the pitch and allow Boland, if he wants it, he's got to create the power himself.
That's low, ball 3. And Ryan is not afraid to pass the baton to brother Shane, who is on deck. All Shane did in the last 12 months was hit the walk-off winning home run at the World Club Team Championship last summer. Four straight balls to catcher Ryan Boland. He'll get an RBI the easy way, and it's 2-0 Canada. And that's going to be it for Santiago Diaz. He will exit allowing 2 runs, leaving the bases loaded, and just registering 1 out.
The Dominican Republic are going to go to their bullpen here, and they're bringing out of the bullpen number 9.
Luigi Mania.
Just like the other Dominican Republic pitchers, they haven't had much time on the mound, and he has got a 0 ERA, but we'll just check for you how much he's actually throwing.
Yeah, just a few innings for Mania for sure, as we pull up the stats of the 28-year-old hurler. He's thrown against India, and he's thrown against the United States. Allowed 1 hit in 3 innings against Team India. Allowed no hits in just 2/3 against the U.S. So it'll be interesting. He is a left-handed pitcher as he pitches to the right-handed Shane Boland.
Yeah, I think Coach Perez is looking to change the view for the batters coming from the other side, and sometimes for a righty it's good to have that left-handed pitcher. It comes right in onto the bat.
So Shane Boland with nobody out and the bases loaded. Shane's had a bit of hard luck at the plate this week. Some hard hit balls right into the gloves of defenders. But there's no time like the present as we head toward the weekend and the playoffs.
Yeah, there's a good comment. The cream will always rise to the top, so the top hitters will perform towards the end of the tournament.
Boland takes first pitch low for a ball.
Tough situation to come in here, loaded bases. The Canadian hitters, there is no rest. Even if they haven't got going yet, there still is no rest from 1 to 9 in here. So these pitches are under the pump from the get-go.
2-0 count to Boland, as the second pitch from Mania is also low. Boland pops it straight up in foul territory. Moretta over to the fence, and it falls into the first row of spectators. New life for Shane Boland.
That got the crowd going, Chris. Nothing like getting a ball into the stands, giving them engaged.
And some of the security personnel just went over there to make sure everyone was okay. Looks like they are. And so now a 2-1 count to Boland. The first batter to face mania. That one over Boland's head to the screen, and the Dominican pitchers really struggling with their control.
Yeah, when you come in, that's the problem when you come in, you're a loaded bases situation. You don't have time to establish the strike zone. You just have to go, and sometimes when you do that, you push a little harder than you should, and in this case, it just hasn't quite got the control.
Boland sends a shot to deep center field. It's out of here. Grand slam home run, Shane Boland.
Wow, wow, oh, wow. A 3-1 count, loaded bases. Shane Boland says, you're struggling. If you come in here, I've got one thing for you, baby, and that's a ticket on an airplane.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's the first time in Canadian history that on back-to-back nights, two brothers have hit deep grand slams.
Wow, what a storyline. This Canadian team is so hot right now. Ooh, you could cook an egg on there.
6-0 in the bottom of the first. Still only one out. 3 of those runs will be charged to Santiago Diaz, whose earned run average will not look very good after this game. And it gets no easier with Andy Skelton, who has 2 of the longest home runs this week.
Yeah, Andy Skelton hitting .455. He's picked up 5 RBIs so far. There is no rest in this Canadian lineup.
When you can have your designated player batting 8th, I think that says it all right there.
Depth, baby, just depth.
3-0 count to Skelton. He takes strike 1. Ball 4 outside and low. Skelton takes a walk, and that will bring up the 9th Canadian batter of this inning in Brian Avery.
Chris, I've got to say I've been well impressed with the Canadian team this week. They obviously hit for power. We can see that, but they're disciplined in the batter's box. Just because they're hitting home runs doesn't mean we have to swing at balls outside the strike zone, so we're more than happy to take the walk down to first base.
Drop ball is outside, says Mark Porteous, so no help coming for the new pitcher for Tony Kairuna, excuse me. Porteous was my last game. My 3rd straight game of the day here, Chopper.
I'm sure there's a cold cup of tea for you after this one, my friend.
2-0 count to Brian Avery.
There's a lady in the grandstand. She is carrying 9 cups of beer with one hand, and she hasn't dropped a drop.
And she's got a Smirnoff Ice in her other hand, and that's what all the ruckus was about on our microphones just then.
Not only do they know the game of softball, but they're also skillful.
Avery fists this into short right field. Figueroa takes 3 steps in, and that will be the 2nd out of the inning.
Yeah, just getting it in on his hands. He couldn't quite get his hands through the zone there to drive that ball a little harder and popping it up and safely underneath that Figueroa 2-handed catch.
That brings up Brandon Horn for the 2nd time, and he started everything with a sharp single off the starter, Santiago Diaz, and later came around to score on a Brad Ezekiel RBI single. So Skelton is the runner at first with 2 down. Change up, and Horn is way out in front, strike 1.
Chris, no wonder the crowds are so large when Team Canada are playing, and the style of softball that they're playing is just entertaining to watch.
Well, everybody likes, what is it? Chicks dig the long ball, right? There's a lot of chicks here in the stands. 1-1 count to Brandon Horn.
Gotta love the sun's come out too, right?
Well, we had 2 days of some dreary weather, that's for sure. Rise ball, Horn felt it was a little bit inside. Ball 3 called. And we may see a third pitcher of the inning before long.
Yeah, the Dominican Republic have got someone up in the bullpen, and we'll get that number for you shortly. Let you know who that is.
Ball 4, Brandon Horn reaches base for the second time this inning.
Doesn't matter where you come from, North America, South America, New Zealand, Australia, there's one thing you can't do, and that's defend walks. We got 5 walks this innings already.
A hit by pitch and for the old-fashioned way, yeah.
4 walks.
So Kevin Schellenberg comes up trying to avoid being 2 outs in the same inning, which will certainly earn him some trouble from the boys on the bench.
So the Dominican Republic up in the bullpen for them is number 19, Melvin Bautista.
First and second for Schellenberg. Change up, Schellenberg rips this to second. Nice hands over there by Valerio, and Schellenberg will indeed earn 2 outs in the same inning. But around those, Team Canada puts up 6, highlighted by a Shane Boland grand slam off the scoreboard in center field. Devin McCullough back out on the mound for the top of the second.
Bottom of the first, there were 6 runs on 3 hits. No errors, 2 left on. After 1 inning complete, Canada leads Dominican Republic 6-0. Fans, I'm sure you know this, but Molson Coors is an official supplier of the 2017 WBSC Men's World Championship and a proud supporter of Yukon softball community.
Excuse me, buddy. Make sure he brings you a beer first.
Speaking of Coors, there's a free shuttle to and from the ballpark in several locations. For information, visit 2017mensworldsoftball.com. Let us be your designated driver.
Chris Abbott and Jason Gerby's back with you here from the broadcast booth on Diamond One in Whitehorse, Yukon. It's the 2017 World Men's Softball Championship. Second last day of round robin competition. This is the final game of the day. Game 48 of 56 in the round robin. Team Canada put up 6 runs in the bottom of the first inning. An RBI single by Brad Esico and a grand slam by Shane Boland. Sandwich a RBI walk by Ryan Boland. It'll be a 5, 6, 7 batters for the Dominican here in the top of the second. Melvin Cruz, Josuel Chalis, and Freddie Moretta, who I'm sure is sweating just a little bit after that long inning with the catcher's gear on.
Cruz in the batter's box here, the first baseman. He's a big unit. I'm sure if he gets a hold of the ball, it'll go very quickly out of the ball yard.
So you talked about the walks in the bottom of the first, Chopper. Team Canada scoring 6 runs on just 3 hits.
Fundamental softball, that's it, key. Don't walk him.
Full count upcoming to Melvin Cruz, and he goes down looking. Devin McCullough with his second strikeout, both of them of the backwards variety, as Chalis steps to the plate.
Chalis is a hot hitting left-handed batter. He's hitting .554 here this week. A little bit of pop's got a home run as well with 3 RBIs.
Dominican won their first 3 games, but then their schedule really got tough. And they are right in the thick of it. They finish up tomorrow night against Argentina. That is low. Ryan Boland turns around, asks for an explanation, gets one that suits his needs, nods his head, and on we go. That one's there. A low rise ball, strike McCullough. Change up has Chalice out in front. And the fans in Whitehorse love the changeup. If they love one thing more than the home run, it's the changeup.
When you're talking about a changeup, though, from Devin McCulloch, when he throws at an incredible pace with his drop ball and rise ball, that's backbreaking.
McCullough works into another full count, the second of the inning. Drilled foul down the left field line, has people scattering. Ryan Boland will walk the new ball out to McCullough. As Chalice takes a look, making sure everyone's okay down that left field line.
Yeah, very clever there by Boland, and with a full count, and they're trying to get rid of him here. It's real important that they're on the same page.
McCullough didn't like that ball. Now gets a new one from Tony Kairuna. Full count changeup, yes he did. Two up, two down here in the top of the second.
Are you kidding me? Devin McCulloch's not afraid to throw his changeup for the strikeout pitch as well. No wonder he's one of the best in the world right now.
And you know, Sean Cleary might be picking that up a bit from McCullough. Cleary used his changeup in big situations last night, even after he got himself in trouble early on, trailing 4-0. Rebounded for a complete game win over Australia. Another. And Freddie Moretta is down one strike.
What do you think Boland said to McCulloch when he went out there before?
Use your best pitch, kid. That drop ball is just outside.
Lucky for Moretta. You just couldn't catch up with that, surely, after those changeups.
Well, that's the thing. He's got some gas as well. If you're the Dominican batters now, you're getting a little fed up with the changeup.
The problem is, if you don't know, it's really hard to get your timing as a hitter if he changes the pace so dramatically and gets settled.
Uses it again. This comes in a little high.
Moretta is now strangling that bat. He is choked up so far just to try and get something on it. He's not worried about power at all.
Chases the rise ball out of the zone, and it's good morning, good afternoon, good night for the Dominican in the top of the second. The Canadians will go back to the sticks. It's 3-4-5, Ezekiel, Malali, Mason.
WBSC Men's 2017. Leading off for Canada in the bottom of the second, number 22, the center fielder, Brad Ezekiel.
Brad Ezekiel singled and scored his first time around. He was the walk that came in when Ryan Boland was at the plate just before the Shane Boland grand slam. So Mania remains on the mound, and he breaks out the changeup.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
This is good. This is good.
You said the crowd loves changeups. Well, they are very happy people right now.
Yeah, it's BOGO. It's 2 for 1 here. Another off speed. That's low. Brad Ezekiel with a 1-1 count. Talked about the Boland brothers. Brad's younger brother, Kyle, a late cut from the Canadian roster. He's the youngest of the Ezekals, and we'll expect to see him in the red and white before too long. In fact, I believe he will be traveling with the team to the Pan American qualifier in September.
It comes out of the Newfoundland area, right?
You got it.
That is the hotbed of fast pitch softball in this country. I don't know what they put on the water over there, but it works.
6 Newfoundlanders plus 2 coaches on this Team Canada, the biggest representation in the history of the program. And I know there's a lot of people watching at home in Newfoundland right now, even though it is after midnight.
I don't think it matters what time ball's being shown in Newfoundland. They love the game over there, and they'll be up all the time. And I know that's where you're from, buddy, and you tell me a lot of good things about it. I can't wait to visit that area.
Well, I've learned that the folks in Newfoundland and those in Auckland aren't quite that different. Molali out in front of a changeup, and that squibs away.
Nothing like a cup of tea.
Speaking of Newfoundlanders, staying with that theme is first baseman Stephen Molali. He's been with the national team program since about 2006. He wears number 33 on his uniform. He is 33 years old, turning 34 this year.
His batting average is .333 right now.
Well, that's uncanny.
Are you kidding me?
Look out, that one goes into the Dominican bullpen.
I got a feeling something might happen.
Well, Steve Molali is one of those guys. He said to me after the game last night that he feels like he's finding his swing. He very rarely tears up the round robin of a tournament. It's on the weekend where he shines. Mania again taking something off that pitch. A wild hack from Molali. He's in a hole 0-2, so in protect mode right now.
I'm told Molali could also be a professional singer, so I understand he shines on the stage as well.
Story about Steve Molali that some people don't know. He was a contestant on the show Canadian Idol, based on the American counterpart, many years ago. He made it to the first episode, the one where they cut all the people, but still,
he made it there.
He made it there.
Yeah.
He is renowned around the beer gardens of the fast pitch community for his entertaining attitude, but inside those white lines, he's a fierce competitor.
It's all business in the box.
2-2 count. Now Molali's worked himself back even. Brad Ezekal is the runner at first with nobody out. Check swing. They'll ask down at first base. No, says Casey Waite. Now Molali's worked himself all the way back.
One of the traits of the South American teams, you find when they get down in the score line, they tend to not be too happy with calls most of the time, and you see a little bit of that from their first baseman crews there. And they're just going to stay focused here, allow the game to come back to them.
Yet another walk. Molali with an excellent at-bat chopper.
Yeah, maybe the other thing they could do too is stop throwing walks, right?
Well, you said it last inning. There's no defense. That is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th walk to go with a hit by pitch. Brings up Derek Mason with nobody down. Mason check swing towards third base, on to second for one. That's all they'll get. And it'll be runners at first and third after the fielder's choice.
Yeah, just getting caught out front there was Mason, and chalking that one down the line to the third baseman. Heads up play, tried to get the lead runner with a tag, couldn't get him, but then picked up the force out at second base.
Brings up Ryan Boland, a walk and an RBI in his first plate appearance. Still only one out here in the bottom of the second. Boland takes ball one low. Luigi Mena came on in relief of the starter Santiago Diaz and promptly gave up a grand slam to Shane Boland.
And checking the bullpen for the Dominican Republic, no one's up at the moment. Well, Perez is waving the right flag, but it's only the second innings.
That low and away again. Boland locked in. He knows exactly where that strike zone is.
Yeah, he's a very good hitter as the catcher, Boland. And if they walk him and his younger brother comes up again with loaded bases,
well, that one's in the dirt, 3-1.
I'll be making a movie about that in Newfoundland.
Shane Boland is already quite the story. And I know Ryan, his older brother, very proud, but also doesn't want his little brother to get the jump on him. So Boland chases that drop ball with the 3-1 pitch, shakes his head knowing that it was ball 4.
Yeah, he knows if he's going to swing something out there, he's going to push that to the left side of the diamond. So not his best swing.
Full count pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3 as Boland pulls off. And he is down for the second out of the inning. And that brings up the hero of the game to this point, the left fielder, Shane Boland, with a grand slam in his last at-bat. He's got 2 more guys on the base paths right now.
You see the crowd starting to get on their feet now. The anticipation of maybe some fireworks here from Shane's bat, and it's good to see the crowd getting up. We love to see that interaction from the crowd and the players.
Drop ball, and Mania saying, where was that, sir? 2-0.
I'll tell you what, the Kairuna from New Zealand has a very, very good strike zone. He doesn't change it throughout the game, and if he thinks it's a ball, he's got the closest advantage point. It's a ball.
Snap down, throw. They got him. Mason is picked off first by Freddie Moretta.
Yeah, it was a bang-bang play there. Mason getting his right hand between the legs of Cruz there, but the throw from Moretta was on the money. And Casey White from USA, he was the closest to the action. Out he is.
No runs for Canada here in the second. We'll head to the top of the third inning. The host Canadians lead 6-0.
Leading off the top of the third for the Dominican Republic, number 24, the third baseman, Wilton Villafana.
8-9-1 due up for the Dominican Republic in the top of the third. Wilton Villafana, Juan Ramirez, and back to the top for Francis Medina. Devin McCullough still on the mound for Team Canada.
Yeah, McCullough's dealing right now, and Dominican Republic just need to get a runner on base. They'd love to get one of those walks they've been given away just to get something started.
McCullough walked the leadoff batter in this game, has retired 6 straight. Hard ground ball, and that's going to get past Brandon Horn on a 2-hopper. Villafana with a sharp single to right.
Yeah, Devin McCullough just hanging that changeup. Anytime you throw that, it's got to be about knee high, and he just had that sitting way up in the strike zone and just sat back and drove that ball through the hole to the right field.
So that'll bring up the 9 batter, Juan Ramirez. Ramirez swings through a rise ball, strike 1.
These Dominican Republic guys are not afraid to swing the bat.
Ramirez is batting .500. He's got a couple of home runs, but remember, the Dominican opened their tournament against the weak sisters in Pool A.
Ramirez there with a running stop check looking bunt. If you're going to either run and bunt or you're either going to turn a square around and bunt, pick one, not both.
And he goes down looking. And Chopper, it's so hard to hit the ball in the beginning, but when you're changing your eye level and your body position before the ball gets there, it's a very fine skill that not many players actually have.
Yeah, you're right. That's from going out there, coming back, and changing your style. I think, though, with these lefties, I haven't seen many of them just running and slapping and bunting the ball all in that one fluid motion. And I'd like to see more of that. We've got nice hard grounds here. You get a high chopper, and with their speed, I think you'd be more successful.
Back to the top for center fielder Francis Medina. One away. The runner on first is Wilton Villafana, and he's running. Mullally takes the 2 hopper. He will retire Medina. And it's 2 down with a runner on second for Elias Valario.
Yeah, Mullally had no chance of getting Villafana there at second base in the force and taking the only option he had. And you always make sure when you have a play there, you get at least 1 out.
Valario went down looking his first time up. Chance to get the Dominican Republic on the board here in the top of the third. Rise ball is well up.
Yeah, Medina with a 467 on base percentage, picking up the walk first time, so he knows how to work the count for sure.
Just a little high. 2-0 is the count. Dipper outside, not there. So a 3-0 count. McCullough. He's going to have to work his way back against Valario. Three and 0, green light. And he fouls it off.
Yeah, Coach Perry is there just trying to get something initiated here for the Dominican Republic and not trying to waste any strikes in the zone.
Foul back for strike 2, so McCullough has worked his way back into the count.
Yeah, Medina, he wished he had that pitch back. That was way out of the strike zone, and he was lucky to get anything on that. And he's got to be, Valario, he's got to be more fastidious when he's in the batter's box.
So again, here you see Ryan Bolin walk the ball back to Devin McCullough at the mound, leaving Valario to wait. And Tony Kairuna came out to grab Bolin, saying, hey, let's go. Full count pitch, runner on second, 2 down. And the changeup that time only goes about 40 feet. It's a walk to Valario, bringing up the number 3 hitter in the order, Pablo Figueroa.
Figueroa hitting for Dominican Republic has 9 RBIs from 2 home runs, and Perez would love him to come with some of that pop in the situation.
Home run here changes the complexion of this game drastically.
Mm-hmm.
Popped straight out of play on the left field side toward the concessions area here at the Pepsi Center. Do you have any concessions today? I had the pizza.
I'm not really one to eat, so.
Oh, you must have had your grilled cheese today at some point.
You know what? I found this food here of your beautiful country, the grilled cheese, and it's my favorite. I'm not ashamed to say it. I must sink about 10 of those things a day.
I'm just more surprised that there's no such thing as a grilled cheese sandwich in Auckland.
Not the way you make it, that's for sure. Thank you, Canada, for the grilled cheese.
There you have it. 2-1 count. And there is the crowd-pleasing changeup of Devin McCullough.
That's just not fair. Honestly, that is not fair. When you change the pace so much from McCullough there, unfair.
Figure out hard ground ball. Brandon Horn booted it a little bit, but recovered to make the play onto Mullally at first. 3 down, couple of runners reach, but nobody across. After 2.5 innings, Canada 6, Dominican Republic no score.
Top of the third, there were no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left off. Fans, don't forget to pick up your merchandise, hats, sweaters, t-shirts, duffel bags. It's all the official souvenir booth located in building number 2, just off the grass picnic area. Leading off the bottom of the third for Team Canada, number 91, the left
So Shane Boland was at the plate when Derek Mason was picked off of first base. He will start his at-bat with a fresh count as we see some of the fans out in center field enjoying the... How did they know they were on the screen?
Those are our friends from the Sports Canada
Oh, they're
TV.
the guys from Diamond 2.
Yeah, Diamond 2's all finished up, so they're having a break out there, and good on them. The Sports Canada TV guys are doing a fantastic job here this week, bringing these HD quality images and streaming it all around the world, and they're just doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, we're happy to be working with them. Our crew today over here on Diamond 1, Director Adam Donnelly, behind the plate camera, Jillian Landrigan, Elliot Goodyear's out in center field, Tom Malanchuk, the prima tama, is the third base camera. And the only benefit of working on Diamond 2 is that you get to come over here for the last game of the night when the crowds are here. You can hit the concessions. Look like the guys might have popped by the over 19 supplier on the way out there. Nothing wrong with it.
That's right. They deserve it, Chris.
Boland takes low, 2-2. Shane Boland had a grand slam home run back in the first inning. That has really put us where we are right now, a 6-0 game. Team Canada out in front.
With no outs at the bottom of the third here, Dominican Republic still has no one up in the bullpen.
Another one in the dirt from Mania, who came on in relief of starter Santiago Diaz in the first inning. Only 1 run charged to Mania of the 6 that are in for Canada. A lot of deep counts in this game for both teams. Change up low, Boland with good restraint. He draws a leadoff walk.
Yeah, that's a sign of a very good hitter. 3-run jack last time and then patiently waiting out a walk the next at-bat, and shows that Shane has no ego. He's there for the team.
Well, and if there's anyone that's there for the team, it's Shane Boland. He said before the tournament started, I will do anything they ask, and that means anything. If my job is to bring the water, I'll bring the water. They want me to pitch, I'll pitch. They need me to hit a grand slam in the bottom of the first inning, I'll do that too. Andy Skelton steps in. Boland the runner at first with nobody out. Lefty on lefty matchup as Skelton rips the first pitch foul down the right field line. Chopper, lots of people back in Scarborough in Ontario watching Andy Skelton. Well known around the Ontario circuit as well as internationally.
He didn't miss that first pitch. He hit that hard, almost into the dugout of the Dominican Republic then.
Lefty on lefty. Mania floats in a changeup. Now Skelton down 0-2.
You knew that was coming. If you rip one so hard foul, the next pitch is going to come slow.
Chop foul off the leg of the batter. Freddie Moretta shot right out and picked that ball up, and Kiaruna will clean off the plate, give Moretta a second to adjust himself.
Interesting here, Coach Stewart at third base. Not electing to use the short ball at all in this situation. No outs, runner on one.
Skelton gets rung up. And much like Ryan Boland, the lefties are having a little bit of trouble here with Mania.
Yeah, normally you would see, the run ahead goal rule is 10 after 5, but only 7 after 5 innings. And if you can get that runner into scoring position in this innings, you could close this match out with the way Devin McCulloch is pitching.
And I'm sure Canada do want to get that 7th one across as soon as possible. The other side of that chopper, you don't want to risk injury. They're already playing without Colin Walsh. And as we talked about, Kevin Schellenberg is a little beat up. So you need to keep your guys healthy for the weekend. Another change-up. That had Avery out off balance.
Yeah, you're right. They're going to be healthy. Lucky you Canadians, you're built tough. You play ice hockey in the winter. You know how to take a knock or two.
Says the rugby lad.
Yeah, we're just trying to be like you.
You know, we play a bit of rugby here too. We're certainly not at New Zealand status, but I want to say our female sevens team medaled at Rio Olympics.
Yeah, no, in New Zealand, obviously the biggest sport there is rugby, and we have noticed the growth in the Canadian rugby scene, and they're doing a fabulous job. But we obviously love fast pitch softball, so we know everything about your game here and all your players, and no, it's just we're fans of the game.
And likewise, back the other way, Canadians know the New Zealand roster and the guys before they come over. Not many secrets left as there used to be. Brian Avery is in a hole. 1-2 it says on the clock, but I believe the count is 2-2, Chop.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter because Avery sends this deep to right field, but it's knocked down. Bolin tags up. And Justin, what a throw from Pablo Figueroa.
What a throw, but I tell you what, Shane Bolin getting there on the sacrifice fly, that wasn't even deep enough. He just saved his buddy's batting average right there, and that's what a good teammate does. Whatever you need me to do,
That's
I'm
right.
there for you.
Absolutely. Shane Bolin, like he was shot out of a cannon. He was like the ultimate warrior running to the ring right there. And he gets there under the tag. That brings up Brandon Horn. They appealed down at first. That's the slight delay here. So Brandon Horn has a single and a walk. First pitch, a drop ball is low to Brandon Horn.
Brandon Horn very fastidious with the strike zone. Picked up 6 walks in this tournament so far.
And he's halfway to 7. That ball gets away from Moretta. And Bolin to third. On a pass ball or wild pitch. Not sure what you want to call that. We'll wait for the official score.
You know, the Dominican Republic, coming from South America, they play with a lot of flair and a lot of passion. Right now, their body language is very, very still. So the opportunity for Canada, while they're down, put the foot on the pedal.
So 3-0 count to Brandon Horn. They do call it a wild pitch charge to Mania. No green light for Brandon Horn as he takes strike one, a drop ball in the middle of the plate.
Yeah, Brandon Horn, he's a patient hitter. He knows he's got to throw 2 more strikes at him here, so he doesn't have to swing at that pitch.
Same pitch, same result. Now we've got a full count.
Working his way all the way back there, Mena. He would love to get this out and put another 0 up from Canada's scoreline.
Horn swings through, and again, Mania is having some success with the Canadian left-handed batters. It's only the right-handed ones that have given him some trouble. Bolin's grand slam has Canada ahead 6-0.
right here. That's it. That's all. She can't remember that. It's not my problem. She's over the other side. She can stay over there. She is French. I know. Let's not hold that. Let's not hold that against her. Maybe last time the translation.
Now batting for the Dominican Republic, the designated player, number 17, Sergio Lajos.
So Sergio Lajos will lead things off in the top of the fourth inning for the Dominican. Trailing Canada 6-0. Devin McCullough back out to the mound. He allowed 2 base runners last inning, but got out of there unscathed. First pitch is low to Lajos.
Yeah, Lajos is the best hitter in the lineup here for the Dominican Republic, and boy, do they need him.
This one is high, knocking the dust out of Ryan Boland's glove to give you an indication of how hard Devin McCullough is throwing the ball tonight. Pours in a drop ball on the outer half. 2-1. Swing and a miss for Lajos, strike 2. The Canadians wrap up their round robin tomorrow against India, their only round robin game on Diamond 2. The Dominican Republic here tomorrow night against Argentina in a game that may still at that time have playoff implications. Depends on the results of the United States tomorrow. Right now you've got the Dominican, the U.S., and Argentina all fighting for that 4th playoff spot in this pool. Lajos stays with the changeup, singles over the head of Brandon Horn. And for the 3rd of 4 innings, the Dominican Republic have their leadoff hitter on base.
Yeah, the Dominican Republic, they put a lot into their game, and you see there Lajos and being the most experienced hitter. He just sits back on that changeup, hung again from McCullough, and drives it over the head of Horn at second base.
We're going to get a substitution. Looks like it's going to be number 10, Joel D'Amata, running for Lajos at first base. So move D'Amata to the DP position for now.
The Dominican Republic, this is their 5th appearance at the Men's World Cup Championship, and their highest finish has been 5, and their current world ranking is 11.
Drop ball inside from McCullough is a ball. Strike 1-1.
Canada and Dominican Republic know each other well from the Pan American Games in 2015. Dominican Republic finished 6th in the competition. Canada won.
Absolutely.
Big year, 2015.
Yeah, and that all happened within the span of about 3 weeks, as Cruz fouls that well out of play.
No catcher likes that. What happened there on the backswing there, it clipped Boland in the catching circle, and it's one of those things, it's not the batter's fault. The catcher doesn't like it. He wants to get as close as possible so he can receive the ball closer to the strike zone. But when you've got a hitter like that as a catcher, you've got to recognize that. You've got to move deeper in the pocket because they're just going to swing. They're just swinging naturally. He's not intending to hit him. So as a catcher, in this case, Boland has to adjust.
Now Boland trying to shake it off his left hand. He's as tough as they come. John Stewart just wanted to make sure his catcher is all right. That would be an immense loss for Team Canada if anything were to happen to their number 1 catcher.
Nice gesture by Cruz, checking to see if Boland was okay straight after that instance. So the great game of softball is played hard, but played by gentlemen.
Strike 3 call. Down goes Cruz looking for the 2nd time in this game. Josiel Chalice is the hitter now with 1 down. D'Amata runs at first base. for LaHose, who singled to lead off the inning. Strike one, a drop ball at the knees from Devin McCullough. Turns, bunts, pops it up. Mason was charging, then had to change his route, and the ball will fall foul.
Yeah, Mason not thinking they're going to bunt in that situation, and the lightning quick he is, but when you're coming in that hard, when the ball goes to his side, it was fair away from him, to be honest with you. It's hard to adjust.
I'm sure Derek would like to hear that you called him lightning quick.
It's my teammate 8 years ago.
Oh. That's a wild pitch from McCullough.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to have Derek Mason come down to play ball in New Zealand for the summer approximately 8 years ago for my club at the time, which was called Northcote. And I tell you what, he's a fine gentleman, and it was great to have part of the team. His stick is immense, but he's also quite an accomplished pitcher.
Yeah, Mason certainly able to pitch, and there was some thought at some point this week after Colin Walsh got hurt that we may see Mason on the mound at some point. He doesn't want to be a pitcher, although he can.
Oh, yeah, I'm just too talented.
This one's lifted out to left, but straight at Shane Boland, who will make the catch, gets the ball right back. Great throw for a guy who's not a natural outfielder.
Shane Boland, any kids watching the telecast tonight, is a great example of what to do when a ball has hit you. He moved his feet to get in the right area underneath the ball, and two-handed catch, and then threw the ball ahead of the runner to make sure they can't advance.
So 2 out now, and we've got another pinch hitter. It is Juan Avrias. He is pinch hitting for the catcher, Freddie Moretta.
The lady's back in the grandstand again. She's carrying 9 beers in one hand. You Canadians are amazing.
Hard shot. Oh, Schellenberg, what a play. On to first. Kevin Schellenberg with the defensive play of the day to this point. What a pickup.
Wow. If Matty Flanagan snaps that shot, our photographer of the tournament, that was top shelf. It took a bad hop. He put his glove, lifted his glove and took it by his head, and then threw a seed over to first base to complete the innings there for Canada. Wow, Schellenberg, what a play.
There is a free shuttle from several different hotels downtown to the Pepsi Softball Center. For the locations and shuttle schedule, check out 2017mensworldsoftball.com under visitors. Leading off the top of bottom of the fourth for Team Canada, number 6, the shortstop, Kevin Schellenberg.
How many times do we see it? The guy who makes the sparkling defensive play leads off the inning. Here's Kevin Schellenberg at the plate. Chopper to short. Tough play, Ramirez.
Oh.
And he turns a trick just like Schellenberg.
Anything you can do, I can do better. It's the Ramirez Schellenberg show.
Juan Arias has stayed in the game at catcher for Team Dominican Republic. Bradley has a goal. Single, a walk, and a run scored tonight. We haven't seen him in center field, where he is just as accomplished with the glove as he is at the bat. There's an old saying that water covers 2/3 of the earth and Brad Esgel covers the rest. Change up out of the zone, 1 ball, 1 strike. For our fans keeping score at home, Sergio LaHose has been re-entered into the game at DP after being ran for last inning. Team Canada leading 6-0 on still just 3 hits. As since entering the game, Luigi Mania has certainly slowed things down for the Canadian offense.
Well, as you mentioned, he's been dominant against the left-handers in the lineup, and any left-hander will tell you facing a left-handed pitcher is always tough because the ball goes away from you, so it generates weak outs. Hard to pull the ball off them, and normally the lefties seem to hide the ball better behind their hip.
You know, I've always heard that it was harder for a lefty to hit a lefty, and I was a left-handed hitter, so I agree with that statement, but we never hear the righties complaining that it's hard to hit a righty. So what's the difference?
I don't know. Maybe he's just used to it. And I mean, there's something different about a lefty. I was a lefty hitter as well. There's something different about being cack-handed. And the stroke looks smoother as a left-handed batter, and just more deceptive from the left-handed side of the pitcher.
Just in front of the mound, Esigo puts his head down, and a nice play by Mania to spin, throw, and record the out.
Yeah, Manuel, that was a top-level play right there. Coming down and getting that swinging bunt, having a spin because he's left-handed to make that, throw that ball to first base to Cruz, and he did that not with ease, but he pulled it off very, very well.
Brings up Steve Mullally, who walked and has been hit by a pitch, so no official at-bats in this game for the power-hitting first baseman.
Yeah, you know, anytime Mullally's up to bat, the hits will come when they need to come. And when he's ready, he'll make the fireworks happen.
Well, you know, you talked about it back, I believe, in the third about getting to that seventh run. Should the Canadians put that on the board here in the bottom of the fourth, they could then close it out in the top of the fifth. However, there are two out and nobody on.
Just resetting the shot clock there. Running the shot clock is Brian Sonic from USA.
Wind has picked up a little here in Whitehorse today, but I'll take the wind over what we had the last couple of days as the temperature was comfortable today here.
Very nice. It was nice to put the shorts back on and get a bit of suntan going. And I know with you, you don't need much suntan lotion because you're just a fine specimen of a human being.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. I don't get a lot of sun where I live, to be honest with you.
Everyone loves a lobster, buddy.
Mullally will get a free pass once more. So that brings up Derek Mason, who also has walked in this game and reached via the fielder's choice before being picked off to end the second inning. Mullally at first. He can run. I would be shocked to see him on the move in this situation.
Yeah, there's no chance of that happening. I see Cruz is lined up behind him at first base just in case he takes a big lead and they have that snap throw to first base again. But Mullally's a bit clever man. He won't get picked off easily.
Mason looks at ball too low and some questioning arms coming from Luigi Mania. It's the second at-bat for Mason. Now Mullally is on the move, so excuse me. A stolen base for Stephen Mullally. John Stewart surprising everybody in attendance.
Yeah, he did. He really did because the catcher, he popped up there, Arias looking to pick him off behind his back to Cruz, but before he knew it, Mullally had already left, so he double pumped, then he made the throw, was high to second base. Mullally got there with ease in the end.
And the count is 3-0 to Derek Mason. That drop ball called a strike.
Mullally knows, you know, one more run here, hand the ball over to Devin McCulloch in the top of the fifth innings. Game is over. He gets to have a cup of tea with his friends just a little bit more earlier.
And Mason draws his second walk of the night. So pass the baton to catcher Ryan Boland.
Not a good idea putting runners on the bases when the Bolins are up to bat.
Boland had a bases clearing triple a few nights ago against the U.S. and, of course, the Grand Slam last night. This one is a squibbler to short. Ramirez will make the short throw onto Valerio, and the Canadians are retired. They will not get their 7th run, and we'll head to the top of the 5th inning. Canada still leading 6-0.
Bottom of the 4th, there were no runs, no hits, no errors, 2 left on after 4 complete. Canada leads Dominican Republic 6-0. Playoffs get underway this weekend. For game schedules, ticket info, and other details, visit 2017mensworldsoftball.com. Be sure to follow them on Twitter, WBSC Men's 2017. They are tweeting a lot. A lot of tweets. A lot of tweets out there. Leading off the 5th for the Dominican Republic, number 24, the third baseman, Wilson Villapana.
Wilton Villafana has one of the 2 hits off Devin McCullough in this game. A leadoff single back in the 3rd. High and away for ball 1.
Yeah, Dominican Republic, if they want to get back in this ball game, they need to have base runners on and string those hits together, manufacture a run as a team. And all they need is 1 run, and normally things start to flow after that.
Rise ball high and inside on Villafana, 2-0.
Of course, that's a lot easier said than done when McCulloch's on the mound.
There is still action now in the Dominican bullpen, although they're just kind of tossing the ball lightly. Canada have not had anyone up throwing tonight. So it looks like this is McCullough's game for the duration, although he's fallen behind now, 3-0 to Villafana. Villafana just turned and started walking down to first base. And McCullough threw it down the heart of the plate. Umpires don't like that.
Only Big Poppy's allowed to do that. And you ain't Big Poppy.
Well, he's more of a medium-sized Poppy down there for sure. Now he's going to get the walk.
That's exactly what the Dominican Republic want here with no outs, the lead runner on. And if they can manufacture a run here, as I said, that could change the whole complexion of this ball game.
So Juan Ramirez, who went down looking in his first plate appearance. Foul tip, strike 1. So time to get something going now if you're the Dominican Republic. That's a high drop ball called strike. Ramirez doesn't like it, then looks around at the bench. Now is going to take a moment.
Yeah, maybe he's got something in his eye because that was right in the middle of the plate. You just get in there, dig in there, and get your job done.
He fouls it up off the screen and is still in an 0-2 count to Devin McCullough, the Canadian pitcher from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
We have a man down in the stand, a man down in the stand.
Wild pitch, and you're referring to a Frosty Soldier, I guess.
I guess.
At first I got nervous, but everyone was laughing, so then I figured it out. Villafana to second base on the wild pitch from McCullough, who will get Ramirez swinging for the first out.
Wow, McCulloch right there. He's like, hey, man, you want it? I'm going to bring it, and if you can hit it, it's yours. Bang, straight past the bat. See you later.
So back to the top of the order for Francis Medina.
McCulloch just putting it into another gear here in this innings.
Medina chases for strike two.
Chris, I think McCulloch's throwing harder now than he started this game. And I tell you what, if that was on the motorway, he'd be getting a speeding ticket.
Foul back by Medina. Wonder how often I wonder if his nickname is Funky Cold Medina. If it isn't, it should be.
Him and Tone Loke. Yo. That got me through high school, that song.
That and the Wild Thing, man. Great songs. He swung like the Wild Thing right there. 2 down. Devin McCullough with his changeup working again.
Yeah, not only the change of pace, but the location of that pitch is what the execution of it is so good right there. He's got it way down in the zone, and in that particular case, it doesn't matter who you are. That's unhittable.
Elias Valerio is 0 for 1 with a walk. This is a long fly ball. Brad Esigal camped under it. And after giving up a leadoff walk to Wilton Viafana, Devin McCullough retires the next 3 batters. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. 1 run for the Canadians to take this one with the run-ahead rule. Look at the White Horse sky. It is 8:21 local time. The clouds are high. It has gotten a little duckish, as they say back in Newfoundland, a little bit into the dusk hour of the night. And Luigi Mania has had a good game, except for the one he served up to this guy, Shane Boland. But that was the last run allowed by Mania.
Yeah, they've put a lot of zeros up since then, just the 6 runs in the first innings. But we are now in the walk-off zone. 1 more run does it. Bottom of the 5.
Boland, hard ground ball to third. It's fair. It's down into the corner. He's going to round first, and he is into second with a stand-up double. Having yourself a day, Mr. Boland.
Yeah, fine in the field and fine in the batter's box. Shane Boland looks so good in there at the moment, and he now is a winning run at second base. What a great job, and he must love playing in front of his home crowd.
His mother here, wife Courtney, flew in a couple of days ago. And Andy Skelton steps in, as you said, Chopper, winning run on second base.
Skelton's picked up 2 home runs and 5 RBIs, so he knows how to convert.
2 straight changeup. That one is up and out of the zone. Skelton, hard ground ball. Smooth as silk is Valerio over there. Smooth as Valerian steel.
Yeah, the Dominican players are polished all right, and obviously they grow up playing baseball. But these days, these players and the group that are in this national academy, if you like, they go to an academy for like 2 months at a time, home for a few weeks, and then another couple of months, so they train intensively to be as good as they are.
Brian Avery with the winning run on third, and Shane Boland, and one out, so the outfielders are drawn in for the Dominican. Infield playing at, I'll call it medium depth. They're at about even with the bags. That'll do it. Brian Avery sends a ball to the gap, and Shane Boland trots in from third base. Team Canada will move to 6-0, and they will clinch first place in Pool A here in Whitehorse.
Yeah, fantastic job there. Brings the crowd to their feet, and deservedly so. This Canadian team this time round is very special. Last cycle they were good, but now they are great. And Avery's shooting that one to the fence to get the run-ahead rule effect applied here in the bottom of the fifth innings. 7 runs to 0. What a great job. My pick for the player of the game for sure, hands down, goes to the man in the outfield, left fielder, Shane Boland, with a 3-run jack, and he was the winning run across home plate.
Shane Boland, our ballpark broadcasting player of the game. A grand slam, 4 RBIs, a double, and 2 runs scored. He goes 2 for 2 on the night and follows up brother Ryan's performance last night. That is the last game of day number 6 here in Whitehorse. On behalf of Jason Chopper Gerbies and the rest of the ballpark broadcasting crew, I want to thank you so much for joining us on Sports Canada TV. We will be back tomorrow. Remember, every pitch, every inning of every game here on Sports Canada TV. Thank you and good night.